Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Man, everybody proclaimed this gem to be the best out of the Sonic series, and honestly, I can't blame them.
It takes everything that works from the past, throwaways that didn't work with it, and just add tweaks to the one that needs work, and you have the greatest Sonic game of all time. It's just surprising that Sega and Sonic Team hasn't given the green light for Christian Whitehead to work on a iOS or Android port of this game yet. I mean, Sega, we're missing the biggest opportunity here. Why are you wasting it?
But despite everybody proclaiming it to be the best, in my opinion, I think it's just a tad bit overrated for its own good.
What? You think Sonic 3 and Knuckles is overrated? Dude, that's the best game ever created.
Look, Sonic, I know, it's just...
Just what? You hate the game? It's too fast? Too hard? Has too many glitches, perhaps?
What? No. It's just because I don't have the full experience from the game yet.
Full experience?
Okay, let me give you a reminder here. I'm not a huge Sonic fan when I was young. In fact, I didn't even know anything about Sonic or the Genesis. Back in my day, all the game system I have was the PlayStation 1, where I played games like Crash Bandicoot Warp, Tomb Raider, Parappa the Rapper, just to name a few. I didn't really become a Sonic fan until I played Sonic Heroes, and well, the rest is history.
So you're a late bloomer. That's nothing bad to say about it.
Even so, Sonic, I still feel like I was, left out. So I figured if I have a daily chance to play any game from the Sonic series, I would play it. Like the one time when I was at my grandparents' place where my cousins brought their own GameCube along with the Mega Collection. The Mega Collection. I remember when I was playing that game on the GameCube, I was having a blast playing through Mushroom Hill Zone. I was able to pass through the first act, but when I got with the second act, I decided to call it quits there.
What? I was young back then, and I didn't understand the physics, and this brain throws me off, okay?
And yes, you heard me correctly. I said Sonic and Knuckles, not Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Sonic and Knuckles. Apparently, Sega decided to split this game into two. One being called Sonic 3 and the other being called Sonic & Knuckles. Why is that? Is it because Sega wants to split the game into two to make more profit of it? Well, no, not exactly. Remember the previous review I talked about on Sonic Spinball where they were working really hard on the next Sonic game, but they were taking their time, so they decided to throw in Sonic Spinball to buy them some more time? Well, they've been off more than they can chew. Without any other ideas or making any other delays, they decided to split the game into two. But they didn't stop there. Oh no. You see, instead of just making two separate games and call it a day, they actually had the ingenious idea to combine these two games into one by using this greatest discovery,
Oh, technology.
or what I would prefer to call it as.
A version of DLC.
But wait, there's more. If you play Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on top of Sonic Knuckles, you're able to play as Knuckles in Sonic the Hedgehog 2 stages. And if you put Sonic the Hedgehog 1 on top of Sonic and Knuckles, you're able to play the Blue Sphere stages. Which, I kinda think it's a missed opportunity to play as Knuckles, to play as in Sonic the Hedgehog, and having the other Genesis game to be the Blue Sphere stages. But it is what it is.
Despite being two separate games, they were surprisingly successful. Sonic 3 was released on February 2nd, 1994, while Sonic & Knuckles was released on October 18th, 1994 worldwide. Which, actually, to add to that fact, it's the same exact year I was born. How weird is that? So you might be wondering, oh Jeremiah, if there are two separate video games, why not separate them into two separate videos? Well, the answer is quite simple. One is simplistic. They're basically the same thing, with a few minor differences here and there, obviously, but I wanted to make things simple for myself and stick straight to the point and not waste anyone's time and, well, review them together instead of separately. And two, whenever I see anybody review Sonic 3 and Knuckles, they always tend to review them separately. So I figured I would do the opposite. I would review them together to see how well they stand out together, while review them separately to see how well they stand out without one or the other. So grab your chili dogs and some extra onion rings as we begin to review Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles. It's jamming time!
The story takes place after Sonic's 2 good ending, where Sonic was able to destroy the Death Egg. Well, somewhat. Actually, kind of made a crash course to an island, a floating island called Angel Island. The heroic duo decided to investigate the crash site, but Sonic, either wants the job done and over with, or just wants to show off his moves, decided to use his Super Sonic and blasted the head of Tails. Only to receive a Knuckles sandwich by, well, Knuckles. We all know Knuckles as Sonic's global friend number 4, the last of the Kenda tribe in the habitat of Angel Island. But one thing you probably don't know is that Sonic and Knuckles were rivals back then. In fact, Knuckles was the first Mobian to work with the Mad Doctor himself, even though he has been, tricked by Eggman. You guys are Mobians, right? Anyways, Knuckles managed to punch Sonic so hard the Chaos almost flew out, having Knuckles a clear getaway to grab all the— Hey, wait a minute! Knuckles just chuckled right there. Why is he chuckling? I mean, why do you have to lie to me? Thus, the story begins. Sonic has to collect all 7 Chaos Emeralds again, to not only stop the Mad Doctor again, but also face with Knuckles trolling you. Okay, so the story is the same as before, but there's one thing that makes up with it. World building. You see, you get to learn more about the Chaos Emeralds. Why are they important? Where did they come from? Why is Knuckles stopping you? Why is there a mural that showcases Eggman and Sonic's destiny that will live on forever? And I may be jumping the gun here, but I just love the cutscenes. Sure, it's outdated, but looking back at it, it's pretty much impressive. You never see any sprite animation like this. I mean, sure, you see a text box here and there, or certain movements with the characters, but nothing like how Sega and Sonic Team were able to do it. It's like as if you're watching the movie. Except it's more like this instead of whatever this is.
Meow?
Oh boy. So good that Paramount decided to make a few changes out of it. What do you think? Sonic? Anyways, let's talk about the gameplay. Now, if you've seen my previous reviews on the Sonic series and you don't want to hear me like a certain Obachow, then skip it to this mark right around here. But if you don't mind me telling about the controls, so here we go.
Move Sonic around with the direction pad, moving Sonic left or right. Compress the jump button to will jump. And if you jump onto the enemies, you can destroy enemies, in which you release the critters from within the badniks. If you decided to run around and press the down button at aim points, you can roll yourself into a ball. That way you can protect yourself against enemies that is on ground level. Or rolling down the hill to build yourself some more momentum. And if you press the down button while mashing the jump button multiple times, you can be able to do the spin dash. With it, you can blast off like a certain speedy car. And that's it.
Alright, now time to talk about the new stuff.
If you press the jump button again while mid-air, you can use the Instant Shield, also known as the double spin attack. Which is kind of a more fitting name than the Instant Shield, but I digress. Anyways, with the Instant Shield, you can destroy enemies that have certain hazards, like spikes, or giving you an extra protection. And I tend to forget to use this sometimes. I mean, it's not as forgetful as the peel out like Sonic CD, but at the same time, I don't really use it a lot. The only time I ever used it was the big arms, or sometimes by pure instinct. But monitors return, like the speed shoes, the rings, and, well, extra lives and shields. But the shields have their own unique twist to it. In fact, these shields are replaced by the new elemental shields. With the electric seeds shield, you can be able to protect yourselves from rare electric-based attacks, but also allows you to draw in rings and gives you a double jump. While the fire shield, while it gives you immunity to fire, also allows you to do a mid-air dash, giving you a boost of speed. And the bubble shield, while it allows you to breathe underwater with it, thank you very much, also allows you to bounce like a rubber ball. And if you have any of these shields on, you can have these projectiles to bounce off of you. Now that's a shield. That is if you're playing as Sonic, because if you're playing as Tails or Knuckles, grabbing the elemental shield just gives you immunity to fire, allows you to draw in rings, it also allows you to protect yourself from electric-based attacks, again, very rare, and the bubble shield allows you to breathe underwater. Just make sure you don't smash those Robotnik, Eggman? That egg-shaped scientist monitor. Why, you may ask? Well, like getting hit by an enemy, one smash of those, you either lose that shield, lose some rings, or maybe even death if you have nothing for protection. So, don't touch it, don't even lick it, don't even eat it, even if it smells like chili dogs. Speaking of which, Tails and Knuckles have their own twist to the game as well. Tails is basically easy mode, using his twin tails to fly around for a limited time, useful for exploration, and also very handy to find those warp rings to get those Chaos Emeralds. Knuckles, on the other hand, is basically hard mode, as he is slow, doesn't really jump that high, but you can punch through pillars where you are unable to go through with Sonic or Tails, as well as glide and climb walls. Not to mention he has a story of his own.
Oh yeah, Knuckles' story. You know, I completely forgot about Knuckles' story. You know what? I'll give you a short summary of it.
After the events of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, Knuckles was just chillaxing, watching all the creatures jumping around him, when all of a sudden an egg robo ruined his relaxing day. But this is entirely mysterious, because this egg robo is not working with the Mad Doctor this time, as this egg robo is actually working for someone else. Something else. And so Knuckles, who wants to save his entire island and to solve this entire mystery, venture throughout every single part of the island and figure out who is the real culprit.
Like always, the levels are basically testing your skills in the game itself. I'll give them a short description with them one by one.
Angel Island Zone. Just like Green Hill, only with fire! Oh, and rope swings. Hydro City Zone. An underwater level that is good, and gives you a hand to go fast sometimes. Sorry not sorry. Marble Garden Zone. It's a really huge level with tops and bits of survival due to Eggman's cause of drilling the place, which allows us to control Tails' main ability while battling the air for a long time. Anyways, Carnival Night Zone. Really strange. It's like Casino Night Zone, except it's carnival theme, and there are these things that makes the physics in the game a little bit wonky, like the elevator thing, which you have to use your momentum by jumping to go higher, and the barrel that has one gimmick that no one in the entire world would be able to figure out unless they use a guide.
What? All I had to do was move up and down? Up and down? What the?
Ice Cap Zone, a frozen winter wonderland that has these ice pillar swings and the bungee cords that slingshots you to a certain area. A very well-known ice world I also would like to add. Launch Base Zone. Basically the main base where Eggman begins to finish his Death Egg 2. Or not, depending on if he has Sonic 3 or Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Not all that hard unless you keep on running into those Badniks. Yeah, not one of my memorable moments. Mushroom Hill Zone. Bouncy mushrooms and vines that traps you if you don't use the spin dash. Also introduces us with pulleys! Flying Battery Zone. It's a blimp, not a battery, but it involves being above in the air with pitfalls as well as sneaky traps that can sometimes catch you off guard. Sand Apple Zone. I really don't like this zone. It's drags on forever, and I know this is a desert themed world, but I really just don't like this zone altogether, especially Act 2. Those ghosts are going to be the death of me. Lava Reef Zone, a really iconic level, though it has a lot of traps that can sometimes catch you off guard if you don't, slow down a little bit. Hidden Palace Zone, not a level per se, but it's a little mini boss battle against Knuckles, which also showcases the mural that I again explained that will live on forever, but it leads up to my next favorite level. Sky Sanctuary Zone. My favorite level of them all. Sure, there is just only one zone, and you're basically reaching up to Death Egg, but playing through it just feels so fantastic, I guess you could say. Not to mention that you're facing against Mecha Sonic as you go up to the Death Egg, with a few nostalgia feels, as well as his own unique boss battle as well. Death Egg Zone. The final encounter with Eggman, and the hardest of them all due to lesser checkpoints. Oh, and also the first one to use gravity-based platforming. Boom! That's right, IGN, I'm going there! Finally, Doomsday Zone. The final encounter against the Mad Doctor when you get all 7 Chaos Emeralds. And the best final boss you ever seen in any game. This is also the first time to not just only have one boss per zone, but also per Act 2. Which means more variety of bosses to fight. And the best part of this game, it's not just only Eggman you're fighting, but also his Badniks too. And it all can be quite challenging. Well, except for Sandopolis Act 1 and 2. And Flying Battery Zone bosses were super easy. Okay, I mean seriously. Some of these bosses are either tough or so easily simple you can be able to beat it underneath a minute.
Despite a few bosses and 1 or 2 level gimmicks, the challenges for this game are so spot on, and I would be thinking this would be an excellent game altogether if I was playing Sonic 3 and Knuckles, which, again, I'm not.
Okay, this is where I have one major gripe with the game. When you're just playing Sonic 3, the only stages you play is Angel Island to launch base, while Sonic and Knuckles allows you to play Mushroom Hill to Doomsday. Altogether have a good sense of difficulty and challenge. Playing this separately makes it feels like, how can I say, half empty? I mean, I don't mind playing them separately. In fact, I don't mind playing a short game altogether. But what I'm saying is, this was meant to be as one game. So what I'm asking is, why make it 2 separate games for collection? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Not to mention Sonic 3 and Sonic & Knuckles each have one thing that the other does not. Sonic 3 not only has this auto-save feature and allows you to play as Tails, but also has the multiplayer mode, while Sonic & Knuckles doesn't have any of that, but allows you to play as either Sonic or Knuckles. If you put the two together, you have all of them. You are able to have an autosave feature from Sonic 3's levels to Sonic & Knuckles levels, and you're also able to play as Knuckles, and also have the multiplayer mode. Why? Yes, I'm fully aware that you're able to use cheat codes to skip to a certain world and to change to a certain character without using a save file. But see, that's the problem there. What if I don't want to use cheat codes? What if I want to play the game fully? What if I want to play as Knuckles as Sonic 3 and vice versa with Tails and Sonic and Knuckles? What if I want to get the coolest transformations ever, the Hyper Forms? More on that later. Also, do you know how hard it is to pull off that stupid cheat code at Sonic 3? Okay, allow me to give you a little bit of detail about Sonic 3's cheat code. In Sonic 3, you have to press up, up, down, down, up, 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 right when the screen darkens and before Sonic jumps in. This is way too precise, even for me. At least in Sonic and Knuckles, they made things so much easier by just grabbing on a pulley and press left, 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 right, 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 up, up, up in the first level while hanging on a pulley. A pulley!
Don't you think we're going a little bit too fast on decision making, Sonic?
What? What makes you say that?
Oh, no offense. It's just you tend to act before you think.
But it'll work out in the end, right?
Well, yeah, but...
Even if things go south, I'm still quick enough to make everything right.
Oh, really? Like Sonic 06?
That never happened. Erased from the timeline, remember?
Alright then, what about Shadow the Hedgehog then?
That's Shadow's game, not my game.
Sonic and the Secret Rings!
That was a made-up story I told to Amy when I missed her date.
Sonic Freeriders!
Blame the Connect, not the game.
Sonic Boom Race Lyric!
What game is that?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Wrong Sonic, sorry.
No, I'm Sonic.
Oh, I know you are Sonic. It's just, the Sonic I'm talking about was from the Sonic Boom universe, in which he has a game called Sonic Boom Rise Lyric. Maybe it's better if I show you.
What exactly is this place? This is paradise.
Wait, who's that?
That is you from the Sonic Boom universe. Just don't ask why.
Look, I understand that this was not even part of the original plan, but there is no excuse to use the full version for every single collection. If you want to showcase a game that is well known, then it must be the better version. The complete version. Not two separate games that was clearly meant to be as one. But I suppose they want to do this so they can avoid one tiny problem. They improved so much with the graphics to the max with the environment and the characters themselves. Well, except for Sonic, I feel like they made them a little bit too round. Especially with his head being way too big. I mean, look at the size of that! But the music, oh boy, the music is fantastic. I know in every single Sonic game thus far, they always have very good soundtracks. But Sonic 3 and Knuckles' case, it's amazing! And you know who helped them with it? No other than Michael Jackson himself. Though kinda sad that Sega kinda put him under the rug there, mostly because of past histories, or Michael Jackson just wasn't very fond of how the song sounds on the Genesis. Kinda disappointing, but it is what it is. The music, while it's outdated though, it's so good. My favorite has to be either Ice Cap or Lava Reef. It just sounds so peaceful whenever you play through the levels. Well, despite Lava Reef wants to, you know, kill me and such. I really need to practice on that level.
2 words. Super Sonic. Honestly, that's the only main extra with every single Sonic game thus far.
Just like Sonic 2, all you have to do is grab all 7 Chaos Emeralds and grab 50 rings. Who created that song? It's so annoying! Sorry. If you grab 50 rings with you, then, well, we're able to transform into Super Sonic himself. However, getting the Chaos Emeralds is a lot different than the previous installments. You see, it's not as hard as collecting all 50 rings and try to reach to the end where there will be a warp ring. In fact, if you try to do that approach, you're fighting against the boss anyways. If you try the Sonic 2 approach by grabbing 50 rings and jumping through the stars that is over the checkpoints, you're instead thrown into the bonus stages where you rank up lives. Sometimes it's roulette, sometimes it's pinball based, while others are like gacha games. And it's not as tedious as fighting one generator per zone. No. This one is entirely simple. Find a secret warp ring that is well hidden in the zone, jump into it, and you're thrown into the special stage. In that special stage, you have one goal in mind. Collect the blue orbs. If you collect all the blue orbs, you're rewarded with the Chaos Emerald. But if you hit the red ones, well, you're transported back to the main level itself. But don't worry, you have multiple chances to get the Chaos Emeralds again. If you take your time and explore the level, that is. There is one catch though. You see, the longer in the special stages, the faster you will be. Which means you have to react quick enough in order to, collect all the blue spheres. So, keep that in mind. Collect all 7 of them, and you get the super forms. The Super Sonic and Super Knuckles. While Tails has none. However, if you decide to play the full stack, you will lose all your Chaos Emeralds at the halfway point, where you are able to power them up again to get the most powerful form of them all, Hyper Forms. This time though, you are able to choose whichever special stages you want to go through first, so you can do them in order or you can do them randomly. But once you've done all the special stages, you're able to get the Hyper Forms. With Hypersonic, you go blazing fast like a speeding light, but if you decide to jump again in the mid-air, you're gonna be able to destroy enemies in a single flash of light. While Hyper Knuckles is kind of the same thing as Super Knuckles, if you collide into a wall, you destroy enemies instantly. And Super Tails, which you can only get this transformation if you collect all the Super Emeralds, Tails is basically broken. Not only he can fly higher than he previously can before, but if he just stands still, his flicky armies would just destroy anything that moves. Badniks, even the bosses themselves. Makes you wonder why they never use the Hyper Forms anymore.
Hey, Sonic! You borrowed something from me from a couple of weeks ago, and you still haven't brought it back yet. So I come back to...
Turn it off, Sonic! Turn it off!
I still have 50 more rings to burn out!
There is sadly one main catch. You see, instead of just pressing the jump button when you grab 50 rings, with or without your intention, all you have to do is just press the jump button twice and you instantly transform into your super forms. For Sonic's case, it seems fine, but for Tails and Knuckles, yeah, that's one major hurdle to jump over. Why not using a separate button to transform into Super Sonic is beyond me, but it is what it is. And for an extra bonus there, in Sonic 3, there is some sort of multiplayer mode where you can play as Sonic, Tails, or Knuckles in a race to see who can be the fastest to finish the level itself. Or you could, well, mess around with debug mode. Think of it like a Super Mario Maker, where you can be able to make a level, except in this case you can be able to break the game.
So what is there to say about Sonic 3 and Knuckles? It is a fantastic game. I recommend anyone to play. However, if I have one word of advice, don't play just Sonic 3 or Sonic and Knuckles. No, the true Sonic 3 you should be playing is Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I made that mistake. I'm telling you right now, don't do what I did. How to get Sonic 3 and Knuckles is quite simple, as well, find the Genesis and getting Sonic 3 while with Sonic and Knuckles and port them together to play Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Or you can get the Mega Collection if you happen to have a GameCube or PS2 or an Xbox to play, well, Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Or you can get the, well, I probably wouldn't recommend it due to the music wise, but I would, but still, I would probably get the PC version of it. I mean, the music is a little bit different and doesn't exactly work with Sonic 3 and Knuckles, but it plays Sonic 3 and Knuckles, plays Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Or you can do, actually, don't do piracy. Never do piracy. Piracy is stealing. Piracy is illegal, so don't do it. Give this game a shot. You might have a lot more fun than I ever did. Huh, not bad. So, those are my thoughts. What about yours? Do you like the game, or do you think it needs a little bit more Knuckles into it? Place your comments down below. This is Jeremiah from JamFrank35. Till then, we'll be reviewing Sonic and Mania. Stay jamtastic and have yourself a ripping time. Excelsior!
That seems fair. I'll give you that. Not bad, kid.
Why, thank you, Sonic. So glad you decided to join me with a review with this one. Just one small question. How did you get in my house?
I jump into the warp ring.
What warp ring?